Hey everybody, Josh here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan with a short, light, easy towing, yet surprisingly spacious feeling Rockwood 2502KS. This is actually a retired floor plan, but if you're like me, you're going to look at this thing and go, why doesn't somebody build something like this today? Because despite the fact that it has a shallow, classic, what's called sofa galley slide, where the kitchen and the sofa are all in one sliding thing, and it's only a shallow slide, it never looks and feels small in here. Actually, what's shocking is that at barely over 4,300 pounds, this feels extremely expansive. So a second ago, we were at the front of the trailer. I was basically at the position of the bed looking backward. This is obviously from the bathroom looking forward, just to give you kind of a quick once-over of the entire interior before we get too far along. This is a little bit better area, I think, to see where you have that kitchen, how it slides all the way down here to the bedroom. Now, this is an open concept, and I wonder if that's not one of the reasons that it was retired at some point. Although I've seen some models like the Cougar 22 MLS. Grand Design has an, imagine what's it called, 22 XLE or something like that, that has a very similar thing where it's a front open bedroom with sofa in the slide and then dinette. So maybe those are already existing modernized versions of a floor plan like this. But this feels like something that should definitely exist and be out there. You've got curtains for privacy there. It's curtains for you, see? You've got curtains to privatize off the bed. And notice where that curtain's located. It's not encompassing the doorway. So if you are sleeping and somebody happens to pop in that door, if you don't deadbolt it for some reason, or if your partner is in and out, you're not, exposing your partner to the neighbors, unless, of course, I suppose that's your thing. Now, one of the things I like to try to touch on are points of concern. I don't recall ever seeing that little bracket down there, so I'm not sure if that was like a little structural enhancement or if that's just where a roller is located under that slide out, and for whatever reason I'm seeing it here and the sofa skirting isn't covering it like I would have normally expected. And then to give you an idea of how high and how low I go looking for trouble with a map and glasses, about the worst I can find on this RV on the inside here is you see those little scuffs where maybe they had something in that cabinet and then like a little rub on the cabinet door here. That's the worst I've been able to find inside this thing. Now, in case you're wondering, these bars right here are slide lock bars. A lot of modern slide out systems do not need those. Rockwood is a manufacturer, though, that even some of their slide systems that didn't need those, they continued to include them just for an extra layer of safety and peace of mind for a number of years. So when the slide is retracted, you actually put those inside the RV on top of the slide. Now, right over here, hard to find in today's market, door side, campside windows to overlook your campsite, which is cool. The dinette has a free-floating table, which you can always take outside if you're so inclined. You could also slide that table over here straight across from the entertainment center and have a little dinofa action going on. And true to Rockwood form, we've got, you see the dresser storage below the bed there. There's the individual drawer on the right-hand side. You see the little wire in that drawer? That's because this is a heated mattress, and that is the handheld controller for the mattress heating unit. Now, flipping back around the other way, I know I'm flip-flopping all over the place on this one, but we've got ourselves a ventless heat system in this, so there's no heat vents in the floor. There's no carpeting in the floor of this model, which is something this floor plan, a sofa galley slide, allows manufacturers to do way before carpetless slides ever became a cool thing. Now, the sofa can jackknife down into a sleeper, and something else I want to kind of point out here is I want to sort of dissect this kitchen a little bit, because when you look at it, the kitchen looks and feels a little bit small, a little pathetic, but what you may not realize is that the kitchen actually kind of wraps around almost in like an L shape. And in a sense, it actually starts over here above the sofa. Then the whole way through the top of the slide, obviously with the exception of the microwave, you've got storage there. And of course the RV is not level, so that door wanted to close on me. But this is one of the things that's interesting. If you notice, this cabinet is not bolted onto the wall. This cabinet, a little mini pantry, that is actually part of the slide out, which is kind of cool. And there's more countertop space here than you might realize, because we tend to look at things kind of two-dimensionally. But if you slide over here like Buckaroo Banzai to the third dimension, you see how deep the countertop is? I'm not saying it's awesome prep space. What I'm saying is it's appliance space, so you don't have to choose, do I use the coffee maker or do I use the stove? They're kind of both here. They're both available. Now, if we're looking at this, though, you might be going, yeah, but where's my fridge? Your refrigerator is actually right over here by the door, which personally I like. Because if you look at the position of the door handles, you can pop in that door, flip open the fridge, grab the, iced beverage of your choice, whether it's a local microbrew or something like that, or if it's, just a soda, bottle of water, an iced tea, whether they're the regular or the Long Island variety. Whatever works for you guys. But like the cushions aren't dirty, they're not stained, they're not snagged, they're not torn. This thing looks to be in impressively good shape. Now the TV right here is actually on a bit of a pivoting swing arm, so you can whip that sucker around. You could watch it a little more from the bed, a little more from the sofa, or split the difference like I've done here. And on a rainy day, I could see myself using the sofa or the bed like a lounge space, and just, a little rainy day Amazon Prime and not Netflix and chill, but what is it, Prime and commitment? It's a different thing when you're talking Amazon Prime. Also, the fact that we have centralized air in a small trailer like this, and true to Rockwood form, you may notice double ducted ACs on this, and this is something that my wife and I would really like about this RV, because I love to have a cold air vent blowing directly on me. I am just like a human furnace. My wife, not so much. She likes having it cool in here, but she doesn't like it blowing directly in her face. So that's what's kind of a nice thing here, is that we could both kind of be like Burger King. We could have it our way. And then finally, our bathroom back here. Quick note on this, and give me a minute. I'm going to demonstrate. But unfortunately, despite the general accessibility of this floor plan, you will lose the bathroom access in travel mode. But again, I will demonstrate that for you in just a few minutes here. Now, let me scan you back down, I'm sorry. Folks had updated to one of those Oxygenics shower heads, which give you a little bit more pressure, which is kind of nice because RVs are not made with very high pressure systems. It's a 6.5-foot sidewall, but it's a laminated roof, so they can put the skylight exactly where you're going to stand. And you might notice, like if you look at the roof line compared to that shower wall enclosure right there, it's not that the enclosure's crooked, it's that the roof is mini vaulted. So even at my height at 6'3", I can stand directly up in that and not have to worry about bonking my head, which is nice. The toilet space over here, it doesn't look super friendly. Sorry, I'm pointing you straight down, trying to get my elbow in here. It is a little bit tight on the right-hand side. I just kind of want to give you an idea, let you know if you're a righty or a lefty or whatever. At my size, my stature, I was able to get, simulate using the toilet, as it were. Obviously, I didn't test run your toilet. Oh my Lord, that is not a service we provide at Haylett RV. Oh, gross. XL vent fan up here, and you'll see a roof vent cover on that. Little window on the back, that does not open for airflow, it's just there for light. Of course, you have the ability to pull the shade on that, so you're not necessarily giving the neighbors a free show. And like I said, we're going to take a look at this thing here in road mode with the slide closed. And if you appreciate the extra time and effort we take to do that, hit that subscribe button or at least like our video. And this one comes so close to being what I call turtle friendly, passing the Cracker Barrel test. It's so close because without the slide, technically you can move from the door by the bathroom all the way up here. But remember that extra pantry space that's actually built right onto the slide face itself. That is ironically our Achilles heel when it comes to road mode traveling access. It prevents us from getting through the RV entirely. And that's annoying, but I hope you appreciate the fact that we took the time to actually point that out for you. I'm not sure everybody would. All right, so beginning down here all up in the guts of this thing, you can see that aluminum skeleton work showcasing its job. Rockwood actually has the exact same welded aluminum cage structure below their dinette as well. Anything that is structural or load-bearing something that you might sit or sleep on, for instance. Rockwood, if they make it in-house, they make it with an aluminum skeleton. Now, I don't recall, I think these folks actually swapped into a Cougar fifth wheel, so they no longer needed their travel trailer hitching, which means whoever takes this RV home, you're going to inherit a couple $100 worth of hitching right there. And you see the original little grilling station and everything still included with this, which is kind of nice. That grill right there and the little side kind of picnic table will actually mount on that black horizontal line you're seeing below that door side camp window, which, can we acknowledge again, we have a nice door side, campside viewing window that is often very hard to find in the modern RV market. Now, I said all aluminum skeleton. This RV is 5-sided laminated. This was made a year or two after Rockwood started doing an aluminum studded but tongue and groove plywood floor decked floor structure, which is basically the same that you might find in, say, a big luxury fifth wheel. They found that in some of their older RVs, they were starting to get a couple soft spots in the floors, and Rockwood said, nah, we ain't gonna tolerate that. So they bulked up the floor construction. It added some weight, but considering this thing's barely 4,300 pounds empty, plus cargo, and I think with cargo, it's still under, 6,000 pounds, something like that. Still very lightweight, very towable. The rest of the RV is all laminated, black foam insulation inside the laminated walls. A couple key notes here for you, though. 30-pound propane tanks instead of 20, although that propane tank cover's been a little sun-kissed. And the RV literally just came in off the folks' vehicle. They've not been unhooked from this for very long, so it's got a little bit of storage dust on it. It needs cleaned off. Something I am noticing, and if you end up taking this RV home, keep this in mind. After you run this slide out, because this is a little more shallow slide, you notice how the seal didn't quite have time to finish running that wiper seal out. Make sure you do it once around the RV. Make sure you grab that with your finger and flip that out so that you don't accidentally have water running down that sidewall and, kind of drizzling indoors. Frameless tinted windows, all of which will tilt open for airflow. And something I do want to point out, because this is a classic like sofa galley slide, kitchen slide, is that it does still have a stovetop exhaust vent up here. So if you are cooking inside, you can exhaust that hot air outdoors. Now, this was made before these had standard enclosed underbellies and tank heaters. So this is definitely what I think we refer to as a 3 seasons camper, like the kind of weather that we're in right now. You could do it. It's, in the 30s, you're going to be okay here, but it starts getting below that, and I would move, personally. There's also a full hot-cold utility shower on the back, which is, it is such an underrated, handy feature. If you've never had an RV before, you're like, so there's a little water sprayer on the outside? Big deal. Don't I have a hose hookup? Like the camper that I go camping in, I need to ask you that you can use some imaginations and do some Jim Henson Muppet Babies pretending with me for a second here, but let's say over on the left-hand side of the screen, that's where the park hookups are located. Could you get a Y splitter off the spigot and have a handy little sprayer hose around your campsite? You definitely could. But it is cold only. This is hot and cold, which is really nice. And you see the black tank flush here so that you can make sure when you're all done camping, you give that holding tank there a really good rinse so you don't have, just to put it out there, any crappy surprises waiting for you stinking up your trailer when it's sitting there in storage in the hot sun. The dual entry doors is rare in a small trailer like this, but I don't know, it kind of helps like with the little flow and go of the RV a little bit. Notice too how both doors are well cleared by the awning, so if it is a rainy day, you're not likely to get really spritzed in the face. And this right here is a little chunk of storage that was under the rear bathroom cabinet. You can see that Rockwood, always very good. One of the practices I've credited them with in the past is not an ounce of space gone to waste. As I back up here over on the door side, again, we got that nice campside window. Instead of using those speakers, personally, I'd bring a little portable Bluetooth speaker and keep it on my picnic table because personally I think it sounds better and it's less inclined to annoy the neighbors unless you crank it up to 11. That, by the way, if you want to dismount the inside TV, you can remount it out here. Now, these tires, let me see if I can spot the date code on them real quick. What is that there? Aha! These tires have a birthday of 3215. That means that they were brought into this world and spanked on the backside by the tire doctor, the Michelin man himself, on the 32nd week of 2015, meaning these are original tires. Even though they look fine because of the age, it actually is advisable that you do plan on updating these sometimes. And these are load range C tires. It really wouldn't offend me personally. If I was pulling this, I'd rather put something on here a little newer and a little heftier myself. And kind of like the tire talk. Yeah, until the weather just flat out stops allowing me, I'm going to do everything I can to get you up here on the roof. For the most part, everything up here looks fantastic. Kind of like the propane tank cover. Oh, no. Ooh, I just spotted something. That needs replaced. Do you see what I see? And that is why I get up here on these things. So I am going to have to report that to my management team and recommend that get replaced immediately. Now, the thing is, I can recommend that. I can't guarantee you that's exactly what's going to take place because I don't have that kind of authority. That being said, I feel very confidently that's something that we can probably get addressed. Now, for the most part, sealants and everything up here looks good. There is one spot I saw that I didn't really care for. And again, I hope you appreciate the fact that we proactively point this stuff out. The seals around the rear bathroom vent here, I just don't like the look of them. They seem to be okay because I've walked all around it. I've thunked all around it. I looked at the RV from the inside. I don't see where any kind of water ever got in there, but it does look like if it sat here in, the Michigan Midwest outside all winter, you got water on it, freeze and thaw and ice damming and creeping and leaking and stuff like that. I think that you could have a problem. And again, I'm up on a lot of roofs. I see a lot of RVs from a lot of different manufacturers. I'm not going to tell you that I know all of it, but I can tell you pretty confidently, I personally wouldn't want to leave it that way. But to each their own. Again, I'm going to recommend our management team authorize putting a little quick touch-up bead around that. And if you're curious about something like that, that's important to you, give our team here a call, and we are more than happy to investigate, has that been done? Is that going to be done before you take the RV home so that you can have, the best expectations set possible? That's my goal here today. And if you appreciate the fair way we show you these things, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like our video. Leave me a couple notes. Let me know what you think about this one. Should something like this be reinstated, or do some newer floor plans, like say the 22 MLS Cougar, have they actually already modernized this classic concept, and is it still in a little bit different form today? Let me know what you think. Till then, take care, stay safe, have fun, and stay warm, everyone.